better chance of happening? Lane Hudson makes Team USA for the Olympic team, or Connor Bedard makes Team Canada?
Ooh, okay. This is a really good one.
Because they're loaded on defense in the U.S.
That's the thing.
Like, they are loaded.
I mean, it is not an easy team to make.
No, it's not. Like, you know Quinn Hughes is on it. You know McAvoy's on it already. Slavin's going to be there. Faber's going to be there. I think Adam Fox will still make the team. I think.
Yep.
You know, Werenski's on the team for sure. So there's 6 guys right there who I believe will be playing.
Yeah, I'm just looking at their depth chart. Just you're right. Like it's a tough.
They're loaded.
Like
now, Canada's loaded too. So it's not like Connor Bedard is going to be cakewalking his way into a spot.
They had Faber, Fox, Hannafin, McAvoy, Sanderson, Slavin, and Werenski on their 4 nations teams.
I didn't even mention Sanderson and Hannafin.
That's 7 guys. So who's coming off to get him on? Right is the question.
That's the issue.
Maybe Faber? I don't know.
Well, I don't think so, man. Faber and Slavin were phenomenal as a pairing. Faber's really good. And he's a right shot defenseman.
Maybe Hannafin? I don't know.
That would be the one.
Yeah.
For me. Like, and the thing is, Sanderson and Hudson, they have a similar style of play.
Maybe he knocks out Sanderson.
That's the question. Like, if he continues to play, although Sanderson's really good. Man.
Yeah, we saw it
Jake
against the Leafs,
Sanderson
right?
is really good. Plays a ton of minutes. He's gaining confidence every single year. I'm going to say Hudson is more likely to make USA than Bedard, and I think it's more about Bedard. I don't sense he's that close. You know, I think Chicago's been so bad for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's not helped them. He's not had a ton of support. Not a big guy, right? Not a big guy. Not a guy that I think at this point in his career would allow John Cooper, the head coach, to feel comfortable putting him in a position that is not conventional to him.
Yeah.
In other words, he is a goal scorer, like a pure goal scorer, offensive threat. That he's not doing that on this team. Like that's McDavid's role. That's McKinnon's role, right? That's going to be Marner's role, and Sid's still going to play a role in that. If Bedard's on this team, you're looking at like a 12th or 13th forward.
Yes.
Like, can you play 8 to 10 minutes and be a checking role? He can't do that.
I was going to say, that's not the role for him.
That's not the role for him. So I think it's more likely Hudson's on Team USA than Connor Bedard's on Team Canada.
I think you're right. I think the one thing about Bedard that I think you have to keep in mind, though, is this is a Hockey Canada production. And he's been good to Hockey Canada. They have a lot of time for him, as evidenced by the fact they're inviting him down to the orientation camp.
Mm-hmm.
So that sometimes gets underplayed. Like, Hockey Canada's loyalties, mean a lot, especially on those borderline picks, like those last few guys on the roster, the guys who may or may not make it, the guys who end up making it are the guys who've done something for Hockey Canada. And this guy's, he's won a World Junior essentially single-handedly.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, for Hockey Canada.
Right.
So
and was at the World Championships last year. Did not partake this year, which I
Yeah.
found somewhat interesting. But yeah, no, I hear you. And he is a big part of their future still. And there could be an element of that experience, but this is the Olympic Games.
That's
man.
the thing. Like, it's hard to justify just throwing a guy on the roster for his experience.
You can't do it for the Olympics.
It's hard to do that.
Yeah. You can do it for the World Championships.
Yeah.
You can do it maybe for the Four Nations. You could have done it. They didn't, but maybe you could have. But the Olympic Games, I don't think you can play like that.
Yeah, the spots are so precious. And to your point,
Yeah.
I do think you're right. Like, it would come down to, one of the last forward, essentially. And for that guy, you'd probably want more of a role player, established role player, grinder guy, if you're going that direction. If that's what you feel,
I think that's smart. Yeah, I think, and I think that's the way Hockey Canada has generally operated over the years.
Yeah.
Give me a veteran guy who I can trust in a lot of different situations.
I'll tell you what, though, like, I would love to see Connor Bedard playing among star players.
Yeah, that's
you don't
valid.
get to see it when he's playing with the Blackhawks.
That's very, very, very true. And like that would have been that was the dream. Like when he was coming out a couple years ago, we have talked about it on this show. Like the idea of 2026, he gets there and plays maybe a prominent role.
Yeah,
like he's a right winger with McDavid or something like that. And McDavid's dishing pucks to him, but it just doesn't seem even remotely close to that happening.
Unless he comes storming out of the gates.
And that's maybe he had a great offseason, a long offseason. He's ready to go, year 3, and that's clearly the projection of his career, the trajectory of his career. He didn't hit the ground running like McDavid did, like Sid did, like others have done. This has been it's going to be a slower climb for him, but maybe he does break loose. But in order for that to happen, he's got to have an exceptional October, November, December.
Yeah,
like top 5 in the league in points type exception. I think. Like, just be an absolute dominant force.
Yeah.
Or are they going to go with somebody else? All right. Better chance of happening this year. Austin Matthews scores less than 40 goals, or Austin Matthews scores more than 60 goals?
Oh, I think the better chance is the under there. Like the low end, because we don't know what his health situation is, right? Like the idea that he's going to be fully healthy again is a big question mark.
Yeah.
And
he's got to prove that. Like, he'll say it
prove
when he arrives. I'm sure he will. Everyone says, I had a great offseason, feeling great. But I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. And then on top of that, even if he came in fully healthy, I have a hard time believing that the absence of Mitch Marner is not going to hurt him to some degree as a producer of goals, because Marner's been instrumental in his production.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you do the math. Like, I mean, I've probably said this stat too much, but Marner assisted on 50% of his goals since Babcock left town, and 60-some% of his playoff goals.
Do the math.
Do the math.
Do the math.
I mean, I'm not saying that other people can't assist on his goals. I'm not saying Matthews can't create a lot of goals for himself.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no denying that there's going to be an adjustment period where the guy who has been his number one servicer, feeder, T-man is not there anymore.
Yeah, I think the play is the under as well. I think it's more likely it's less than 40. We just saw it. Now, if I had to make a bet, I think he chases down 50 this year. He's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But also, I made this argument. It's not even really an argument. It's more factual about just the history of the sport. Most players, especially like the elite players, the guys who put up ridiculous statistics, they do that their first 6, 7, 8 years in the league. Mm-hmm. And then it slowly falls off.
Yeah.
And I said it last year about McDavid. I'm like, I don't think he's ever going to score 64 goals again. I don't think he's ever going to get 160 points again. That's not the way it goes. Gretzky, his first 7, 8 years was unbelievable, and then it kind of dropped. Mario Lemieux, that's just the way it goes. Guys get 10 years into their career. Doesn't mean they're still not great. It means they usually focus on different areas of their game. They've kind of done it all, seen it all. They've chased points. They've been in that position where they're on their toes every single night when they're 22 and 23, and they almost can't wait. They're salivating to play a bad team because it could be points night. I think as players mature, they don't look at the game the same way.
Yeah.
And I think Matthews has to fall in line in this. I think he could still be, and I think he should still be known as the best goal scorer in the game and the best goal scorer in the world. I still believe he owns that title and is worthy of still owning that title. But that doesn't guarantee you're actually going to score the most goals every single season. It did for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
He was a lock. He was going to win the Rocket every single year.
Felt that way.
It felt that way, and he did in many ways.
Yeah.
But I do think it's reasonable to expect that he's going to hover more around 40 for the rest of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be a couple of years where he gets to 52, 54, 55. That would not shock me at all. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happened this year. Be at 50, 52, 53 goals. I would not be surprised at all. But 60 plus, he's done that twice. It's so tough to score 60.
It is.
Ovechkin did it